everyone, and welcome to Coast Connections. I'm Elizabeth Heinz, and today we're looking back at 2019 to the most memorable animal stories from the Nanaimo News Bulletin. All our creatures, great and small, finned and furry, had some pretty headline moments this year. And to walk us through that, we have Mr. Chris Bush from the Nanaimo News Bulletin. Welcome to you, Chris.
Hi, nice to be here.
Photographer and reporter.
Yes.
And interestingly, you are a photographer, but the photos that we're going to be seeing tonight are?
They're all reader submissions, every single one of them.
Amazing.
They were all submitted by our readers, yeah, which is really very cool when you think about it.
Yeah, it is. Because some of these are pretty high quality stuff.
Some of them are, and others are, you know, what a lot of us get when we're just out snapping pictures, or we just have our cell phone or what have you. And
totally.
You got to work with what you got.
Now, as a photographer and reporter, I imagine you've had some close animal encounters as well.
Yeah.
Is it the camera that throws, like dogs, for example?
Dogs, I don't know if they just don't like reporters or if they just don't like cameras, but sometimes dogs they get upset when they see a camera. So do people.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know.
well, that's true too, isn't it? Yeah.
But I did have, I was doing a story, we were doing a bunch of stories for Labor Day, and we wanted to do traditional type labor or occupation stories.
Okay.
And one of them I was doing was a horseshoer. What do you call it? Farrier.
Yeah.
So I went out.
A lost art.
Yeah. Well, yeah, not lost, but not as common.
Yeah,
you
not
know,
as
they're
common.
harder to find. And I was out at this lady's place out in Cedar, and the farrier was there, and everything's fine. Dogs running around, and everybody's happy. And he went to work with the horse. I raised the camera, and the dog jumped up and grabbed the camera lens, and just
Really?
big snarl and whatever.
Whoa.
Yeah. You know, like this. It was the darndest thing. And she says, "Who's never done that before?"
Yeah.
I never believe that when people tell me that, but it's
No lucky horseshoes for you that day.
yeah, but no, everything was fine. You
Yeah.
know, nobody was hurt or what. But it was a real surprise. It happens. You know, you just don't know. Animals react strangely to things they're not used to sometimes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you had a close encounter with a police dog too, you were saying.
Oh,
when you
that
were
was
out on
many years ago.
Yeah.
It was at a demonstration at NDSS at Nanaimo District Secondary School in the fields there. What was it for? It was some summertime thing. And the police are doing a demonstration where they have the fellow with the, you know, the big padded
arm.
the big padded suit and
With
arm.
the
and-
canine unit?
Yeah, and the canine unit's there, and so I'm there waiting because I want to catch the moment when the dog, you know, nails him and whatever, and all of a sudden he releases the dog, and all of a sudden I realize the dog's coming straight for me, not for the guy. So he's like this, you know, like a hairy torpedo almost, you know, and I'm going, thinking,
Zeroing right in on
and I'm
you.
thinking, I wonder how much this is going to hurt, you know, and
No doubt.
but the handler, he, you know, obviously they're pretty astute at what's going on. So he just gave a quick command, and the dog just veered off and
Wow.
nailed his quarry. And I got the
Yeah.
pictures, and all the people in the stands who were watching didn't get to see me torn apart, you know.
Oh, too bad.
Yeah, exactly.
We actually have a police story in our lineup here tonight as well that we'll be talking about. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So let's get right to it, Chris.
Sure.
There's some really cool stories here, and we'll start with the number 10 one from the
Okay.
Nanaimo News Bulletin, and that was James Farkas and the eagle and the vulture.
Yeah, well, there were vultures involved, yes, and James Farkas. That was a story that I did, and he came to us, and because it was quite an interesting story of you know, a combination of circumstances, where he had been at a property visiting friends, I think out by I forget the name of the beach. It's on the north end of town. There's cliffs there. And he slipped and fell and broke his femur, I think it was. He had,
Wow.
you know, had quite a serious injury.
Yeah.
Anyway, and he goes back to visit 10 months or more later when he's healed up, and he's visiting these folks, and he looks down and he sees this funny movement down on the beach. And there, as he described it, you know, and there's this eagle, and it's pretty much played out. It apparently had a broken wing, and it's pretty much done. And there was a bunch of vultures, turkey vultures all around it. He said about 10 of them, And they were, and as he put it, just hammering on them, like this. But they were going to make a meal of them ultimately.
Sure. Well, they're vultures.
But they're vultures, and I'm sure there are. I don't know how eagle and vulture encounters normally go, but maybe they wanted some payback for something. I don't know. But anyway, he went down and down the beach, and he chased these vultures off, and grabbed this eagle, and he wrapped it up. He had it in a little,
he took off his shirt, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right. He had it. Yeah, he took his shirt off. Thank you. Yeah, good memory, and better than mine.
Between the two of us, we'll get it.
We'll get this done. And but it was really touching, and the eagle, I guess, was rehabilitated and whatever, and he got to. It was almost like he was able to pay something back in his mind too. In a kind of a strange way. He had a broken leg. It was at the same spot. The eagle had a broken wing. There were these.
That's really sweet.
Sort of parallels or commonalities between their two injuries,
I like the symmetry of that story. On the same beach that he was rescued, he rescued the eagle.
That's right.
And he's off, flying another day.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no.
And James has recovered really well from his injury.
As far as I know, I haven't seen him since, but I think he has.
Very nice. We wish him all the best.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, Phillipe the Pheasant, the golden pheasant.
The pheasant, yes.
From Lanceville. He went on a walkabout.
Yes.
For a week.
Yes, he did. And he's a very colorful pheasant.
He's gorgeous.
How people missed him for a week, I have no idea.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
How did he blend in?
I don't know. We've got and I don't know where he was for a week. Mm-hmm. Greg Sakaki wrote that story, and he was quite keen on it because we saw parallels with the emu. Remember the emu a few years ago that got loose? Yeah, and everybody was running around about this emu that was going on about this emu that was on the loose. And so, anytime you've got some unusual or colorful bird or any exotic creature, people take interest.
Yeah.
I don't know that a pheasant has as much personality as an emu, but it's not a stretch. But anyway, that went on, and he was eventually found. I think it was by Woodgrove Center.
He was found at the Avalon Cinema at the Woodgrove Center, and I think he was going to see Angry Birds, but it had stopped running. Yeah.
Couldn't get it to. The house was full.
Exactly. And apparently a truck driver for Winners, again, swaddled him in a blanket and took him. And I'm thinking, winner, pheasant dinner.
I would never have gone there, but,
we must say that Phillipe was happily returned back to his farm.
That's right.
The owners were so happy to have him back with the chickens.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
And what I didn't know was that the golden pheasant is a sign of prosperity and good luck.
That's right.
So I think Phillipe was just out there paying it forward.
Could have been.
Spreading the prosperity and good luck.
Yeah.
So we wish him all the best for
and I haven't heard of
2020.
I haven't heard of him escaping again or any of his. Apparently he's with some other chickens and whatever else, and I think they're all still back on the farm in Lanceville.
I hope he's having a good time.
I do too.
And the BC Ferries had what they called a bear Paws.
That's right.
P-A-W-S.
Yes, they did.
And P-A-U-S-E.
Yes. Yeah, that was the Queen of, was it the Queen of Coquitlam or the Queen of Oak Bay? I can't remember which one. Had to pause in its scheduled run because the bear was actually getting an escort from the Nanaimo Harbor Commission, right, from the Nanaimo Port Authority, I should say. And you can see him. Yeah, he was swimming. You can see if you look in the middle of that red circle, that little tiny black dot is the bear.
So the ferry actually paused.
Yeah. No, they paused, and and that's kind of
nice, giving them the right of way.
That's right. Yeah.
I didn't know that black bears can swim up to 40 kilometers.
I didn't
40
either.
kilometers? Yeah,
something like
30
that.
kilometers, 9 miles.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And they can go 30K. That's
swimming?
That fast.
You're
30,
kidding.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No. This guy had been, he's a regular, apparently, according to Stuart Bates, conservation officer.
Our favorite conservation officer at Coast Connection.
Isn't he fun?
Yes, he is. Yeah.
I love interviewing Stuart Bates. I really do.
He's great.
He is fun. And that bear's a regular up at Lindley Valley. So he had been hanging around for quite a while.
Okay. Stuart said he was a media star.
Yeah, he's the media star. Yeah, and because I think he has been spotted several times over the years, and numerous complaints have been phoned in about, because people will see a bear and they're nervous about it. It doesn't matter if he's doing anything wrong or not.
Yeah.
But people get concerned because, as we know, bears can be dangerous. But apparently, yeah, and so he's been up there for a couple of years anyway, as far as I know. And then he made it. He got to Newcastle, and then he ran across over to Protection, got into a bird feeder, if I remember right. And that was about the only thing he got into, as far as I know. And then I think Stuart Bates told the property owners there, just put your feeder away and he'll go away.
Exactly.
And apparently he's back in Lindley Valley. He's not hanging around on the little islands.
He's having a good life.
He's having a good life.
Yeah.
It's funny because bears, I like bears. I think they're cool. And we have a lot of encounters with bears in Nanaimo. Where was I going with that though? Sometimes we have one out where I live, down on Benny Road out in North Oyster, Yellow Point area there. And he's been there living in the bush for years, and they never gets in trouble. He could get into anything he wants. I don't know, there might be more than one bear, I'm assuming there is, but, and they never have a problem.
Yeah.
And others will get straight into the garbage, right?
Exactly, and as our friend Stuart Bates says, remove those bird feeders, don't put out your green bins overnight. It's just like a shopping cart for the bear. He'll, take off with them.
The plastic, the recycling bins that take the food, they take them, they drag them away, and they just jump on them till they break open, and then they get the goodies out of them.
It's amazing. It's snack time.
Yep, that's right.
And we have a very, very high population of black bears here on the island, about 70,000 of them.
Yeah.
So it's, pretty cool that BC Ferries would stop for the bear. So I like that.
Yeah, I do too.
Now, the next up, number 7, is this sweet miniature horse, Halle Berry, they named her.
Halle Berry, yeah.
Who was attacked by a pit bull.
Well, apparently it was a pair of dogs.
Okay.
And now I don't know if they were pit bulls or a type of terrier or whatever. And you kind of, and when you do stories about dogs and pit bulls, we're very, at the paper, we're very quickly reminded by not just people who advocate for them, but, dog experts and what have you, that they'll say there's no such thing as a pit bull, but there is a dog that's bred for fighting and competition and whatnot. But anyway, they're kind of terrier. But these two apparently went through the fence and went after that little horse, and then I think they got it out of the corral or something, and then
Halle Berry was in her stall.
Yeah, that's right.
And I liked what the owner said in your article. It said the dogs went through the wire fence like it was spaghetti.
Yeah.
Like just plowed right through there.
Strong animals.
Yeah.
And the owner of the dogs, I remember reading or hearing about, because I didn't do that story, but I remember the owner of the dogs, he was mortified. He took full responsibility. He paid for the horses, surgery and everything. He was very, very remorseful about that. Apparently he wasn't expecting that kind of behavior.
Yeah.
But sometimes dogs do that when they get in a pack. They get a mindset, and sometimes they.
And it goes back to what you said earlier, that animals are unpredictable.
They can be, yeah.
And this little Halle Berry, the horse, 34 inches high.
Yeah.
Not a pony. It's actually, they're bred as horses.
Yeah.
And I think the smallest one on record was 17 inches high.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah, amazing.
Can you imagine? It's a horse.
It's a little horse. Yeah. And they're also used as therapy animals.
Yeah.
For people with disabilities. They'll pull carts or, chairs. And also they've been used to help people with vision impairments as guide horses.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah.
So
somebody has
miniature horses.
Somebody has some miniature horses just up the road from our place, and I'll ride the bike and I stop and look at them. And they're really pretty little things.
Yeah, very gentle too.
Yeah.
Number 6 on our list, Chris. The Orca and Calf steal the show at the Dragon Boat Festival.
I think it was Greg that wrote that, or was it? It might have been Carl you, but that was a first. I think it's a first in history, or certainly in the local dragon boat history where they had to actually stop a race or postpone a race because there's orcas in the water. And of course, everybody's perfectly happy to sit there and watch the orcas. And apparently, where's the picture? There it is. There, if you look in the survey, you'll see it snorting, or what do they call it? Blowing. Snorting. And apparently there was a calf or a baby with it, too.
There was,
yeah. So that would have been a real treat.
It would have been. And that baby orca, the calf, the saddles are pink. They're not white yet because they're a little more disguised till they're about a year old.
And I was reading around that time prior to that happening that there was a small orca, a baby that was born down in the southern Gulf Islands. So I'm wondering if that was the same mother and calf, right? You know, I don't know, but anyway, that was pretty cool. The photo, you know, you notice again with the small speck, but you know, when I say you have to work with what you've got, what I'm talking about is the people that are taking pictures at the time.
Yes.
You know, they got that picture, and yes, it's small, and you know, you could say, well, the Loch Ness Monster picture, look, you know, it looked bigger than, but we wouldn't have had that at all if it wasn't for our readers. You know, and so, you know, it's so grateful that, you know, because if you can put any image to a story like that you can use, it you know, it brings the whole story to life.
It really 1,000 words, Chris.
Well, it is, yeah.
And I might mention too that that's the southern resident orca, and there's only 75 of those left, which is drastically reducing. So the chances of seeing one was so beautiful.
It is.
And of course, that's due to the Chinook salmon runs being you know, wiped out. So the orcas are suffering as well. So
yeah, a lot of whales are coming into the inner waters to feed. Because
absolutely.
This is where the food is right now.
Yeah. Number 5 on our list. I'm calling it kidnapping. Sorry, but it was a baby goat was stolen.
Yeah, well,
this is sad.
Allegedly stolen. It was never proven, you know, that it was stolen. We really don't know. I don't think the owners really know. And, you know, I spoke to them, and they're quite devastated about it. I mean, they really love these animals. And
it was only about 12 days old, this little goat.
He was very young, And I think it was a he. And beautiful little thing. And we have the picture. Yeah, it's a couple of pictures of him there. And yeah, we just don't know what happened to that story, though. The people took so much interest in that. And they were telling me they were getting, because they had posted on social media what had happened.
Sure.
And they were getting calls from California, you know, from Central California and what have you, and Montana, and if I remember correctly, and other areas. People took a lot of interest. They really were invested in hopefully finding this little goat. But he never turned up.
No.
Yeah, which is really a shame.
That is a shame. But what was also an interesting part of that story was he was part of a goat snuggling class. Who knew? Like, and you just go there for the sheer pleasure of snuggling these little baby goats.
That's right. Yeah, mostly children. You know, it's kind of a children's
thing.
That's just up the road from where my wife and I live. At the farm there, and she also does. They have goat yoga classes, and I guess you do yoga and goats jump around.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't know.
Downward goat.
Instead of the downward dog.
Yeah.
It's terrible. You never know. You know, I don't know. I mean, anything might have happened.
Yeah.
You know, there's predators out there. We have cougar. There's, I don't know if an eagle could pick one up. You'd think somebody would have noticed. And as they said, if it had just gotten lost or stuck somewhere, it would have been calling. So who knows?
And she wasn't yet weaned too, which is sort of a critical factor
that's
for
right
her.
too.
She was only 12 weeks, and I think it's 2 months, 8 weeks. But I liked how the owner described it. Blue eyes and moon spots.
Yeah, isn't that something?
Yeah.
But it was beautiful. And she had obviously sent us pictures, but you know, when we looked at the kind of the original files on our computers, and it was beautiful colors, beautiful blue eyes, and really rich, you know, red brown tones and whatever. Yeah, it was a beautiful little
Well,
critter.
we hope she's thriving somewhere.
I do too.
Being
Stolen
snuggled
or
by,
not.
being snuggled again. Number 4, Alfred the Cat and Bella, her rescuer.
Her rescuer.
The 10-year-old little girl.
Yeah. I didn't write that one. But I thought it was really fascinating that this girl was so determined to find, she just read about this and boom, this is my mission. No.
She saw it on a poster. And yeah, search party of one.
And
off she went.
We all, like I can walk by telephone pole, hydro poles, or go to the corner store and see the notices or out at the mailboxes. And you never think of looking for a cat.
No.
The cat's missing. Oh, that's too bad. Probably,
Yeah.
And you do feel bad because, we love our pets. Yeah. But this little girl, she was determined, and dang it, she didn't find it.
Yes.
I think within the first couple of hours or whatever that she started searching.
And it wasn't easy to find. It was in a storm drain.
Yeah.
And a black cat in a storm drain is not an easy thing to spot.
But she did.
So good little Bella brought Alfred home.
Oh, I know.
That's the sweetest thing.
It is. I thought it was really, really cool.
Yeah.
Wow, this is going to be my cause, and I'm going to search for this,
Totally.
Yeah.
The world needs more Bella.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bella, for bringing Alfred home. You're awesome. Now, number 3 on our list is Jaeger, the RCMP police dog.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bringing the bad guy down.
Talk
in a
about
snowstorm.
a media star. Jaeger, he's been involved in a lot of different takedowns over, since he started his career. And what a beautiful dog. I mean, you look at him, he's just absolutely, he's gorgeous,
gorgeous.
Just a beautiful dog. I wouldn't want to tangle with him,
No.
like this. I don't know if I've ever, I'm pretty sure I've met him, but.
He's not the one that almost took you down, was it?
No. He's long since retired. I think he's dead now. That was a long time ago. And there was quite a chase. They were at it out there for about 2.5 hours or so.
And this is in the backcountry.
It's in the backcountry up Nanaimo Lakes area.
A couple feet of snow.
Yeah, wet, cold.
Yeah.
And this fella had, I guess pepper sprayed a couple of people. They were caught. He and another woman were caught in a private cabin up there that they had allegedly broken into. And anyway, so the folks that caught them, the gentleman that caught the two of them, I guess they were waiting for the police to arrive, and I guess he pepper sprayed them or whatever, bear sprayed them. And then took off. Yeah. And it was kind of odd because he allegedly while he's out there, he allegedly found a wildlife cam, these remote wildlife cams that people put on trails and stuff.
Yes.
I guess he grabbed that too and stuck it in his backpack. I don't know why. Wow. And, but anyway, he got, he wasn't going to come out too willingly, I don't think.
No.
And so I think it's Jason Grafton was the RCMP member, the handler, who wanted him to come out, and he wasn't gonna, so he sent Jaeger in, right?
Yeah, amazing. And Jaeger, I mean, he's one. There's I think almost 200 canine units in the RCMP, and these dogs are like the unsung heroes. They save about 50 lives a year.
They do.
Yeah.
If I remember right, it was Jaeger that was also involved in a search a year or two ago, and I believe it was him that found a woman who was lost further south. I think that was down south of Ladysmith there.
And all the breeding and training for the RCMP police dogs takes place in Innisfail, Alberta, and they have their own breeding program. They used to bring dogs in from other parts of the world, but they actually
Czechoslovakia was one supplier for the Canadian RCMP dogs. And yes, now they do their breeding and whatever out of Innisfail.
Amazing.
Yeah,
we love our canine units, and it's so tragic when one of them actually dies in the line of duty, but they are given full regalia, memorials when that happens.
They should.
They should.
I think they should, and not because some people consider them members of the police force. In that sense, they are.
They are.
But they're in our care.
They are.
They're not. They're not making the decisions. They don't have a choice.
Exactly.
They're not the thinking, reasoning person behind
And what
that.
drives them, the only reward they want is the love and affection and confidence
They
of
wanna
their
play.
handler. They want to play.
They want to play, yeah. It's
Beautiful.
all about their chew toys.
Yeah.
It really
Exactly. We've got about 3 minutes left. We have 2 more to do.
Okay,
here.
oh wow, that
the
was
giant
fast.
Asian hornets.
Oh, my goodness.
Here
Yeah.
in Nanaimo.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Nanaimo Beekeeping Club.
Yeah.
Peter Lang was one of our guests on this show, and he was one of the ones who went out to find this underground nest. These hornets are vicious.
They're nasty.
Huge.
Yeah, they're nasty.
And they say there's about 40 people die in Japan every year from these hornet stings.
You did what I did. I was happy to
Yeah.
read up on these.
They're fierce.
They can be. Well, probably as many people die from regular hornets too. I mean, but in Asia, they're, you know, if you get stung by enough of them, they can kill you, and especially like here if you're allergic.
Yeah.
And that particular one, these colorful ones, I think are the Japanese variety, as opposed, and they've kind of lumped them all into the same species now, but they were considered a subspecies.
Yeah.
But they're the pretty ones. They've got all the
beautiful.
colors.
And they're huge.
Oh yeah.
And
they're
they
a
have the
couple
most
inches long.
toxic venom of any insect in the world. So.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, I
yeah.
didn't know that.
They are vicious.
Okay.
But they got them. They eradicated the nest with carbon dioxide.
They did, yeah.
Only one of them got bit 4 times. Oh my goodness. And he's okay.
Probably went right through that bee suit.
Yeah. A drum roll now, because
Okay.
our number one of the year is piranhas. Oh my gosh,
Piranhas in
in Westwood Lake. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that was
Out trout fishing.
I got that. It was handed over to me, and I looked at the picture that I was sent,
Yeah.
and I thought, no, that's got to be just. I was skeptical,
Right.
and I kind of sat on it until I thought I want to confirm that this thing's really a piranha
Yeah.
before I go doing
It wasn't
the
April
story.
Fool's Day, it was September.
No, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, and anyway, it turned. I thought it was a cichlid or something. And people do. They, as you know, and we know that people drop their fish in lakes and things like
Yes.
this. Anyway, so I called around, talked to a few people, talked to the fellows that caught it, looked at some secondary pictures, and they're piranhas, right?
They
You know,
are
like
piranhas.
this. So, and that went nuts. That was our single most read story of the year
Wow.
in Nanaimo for the news bulletin. And for all of Black Press, it was the second most read story of the year in BC.
Wow, that's amazing.
But people just went piranhas.
Piranhas in Westwood
people
Lake.
were really concerned. They really were, or they thought it was really funny. But I'd go out for coffee and I'd hear people talking about it all around me.
Unfortunately,
so
Chris,
much fun
we've
with
got to
that.
end with the piranhas right here. But thank you so much for coming on today and telling us about these amazing animal
You're
stories.
welcome.
Thank you for watching, and keep those cameras out and take those pictures, and we may have you on our next year's Memorable Animals program. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.